On this episode of Hopped Up Beer Review, we're going to try the Milk Stout Nitro by Left Hand Brewing Company.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Hopped Up, where we give you our unprofessional and somewhat biased review of the beer we are drinking. With me, as always, is Jay. I'm Ben, and Andy is in the attic. Hey, guys. Good to see you again. Be sure to like and subscribe and cheers that bell so you can get our notifications going forward and get alerted when we have a new video come out. Andy, what are we drinking today?
We're going to have the awesome Milk Stout Nitro by Left Hand Brewery. It's just as we said, a milk stout, but it instead of CO2, nitrogen in the can. It's 6.0% ABV, was it like 25 IBUs. Out of Left Hand Brewery in Longmont, Colorado. Really good. Sorry, yeah, as you know, I've had this before, so it's an easy review for me.
I'm biased at all.
Yeah. Jay, have you had this one? Because I've had this one as well previously.
I don't believe I've had this. I've had a couple of other things from Left Hand in the past, so I'm excited and intrigued because I know you guys really love this and looking forward to it.
It is my first time out of the can, I will say. I've only had the bottle.
Gotcha.
But there's a difference.
Yeah, I think I have actually had the can as well before. And one thing I noticed this, you mentioned this being a nitrogen. I don't notice the little ball that you see in like a Guinness can or a Boddington's can. There's
the widget
nitrogen release. The widget, yes.
The widget. Well, that's interesting because Left Hand Brewery, it was the first American and first craft beer to bottle a nitrogen beer without a widget.
Interesting. I did not know that.
That's cool.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. Huh.
Cheers to them.
Yeah. With that, I think I'm thirsty, so I'm ready to pop it and have a drink.
Yeah, let's crack this bad boy. Interesting.
Now they say pour hard, especially with the bottle, since there's no widget. So when they pour, they want you to go
fast,
upside down. So they pretty much want the bottle when it is turned at 180.
Wow.
And it says it on there. Yeah. With the can, I don't think it matters so much from what I've read.
And you can see that flow.
Yeah.
The flow.
When you get that bottle and you turn it, it's very reminiscent of a nitro, like when you see Guinness going up and down.
It smells very good.
You get that nice creamy head on top that you do. When you pour Guinness out of a can, you get that same similar head, just the nice cream on top. So,
yeah. It's definitely
cheers, mates.
Cheers, mates.
Yeah, cheers.
Sorry, Andy, I did not mean to interrupt you there.
No, I was just saying you can smell the kind of the vanilla in the coffee. I think they also use some brown sugar in there, and definitely lactose. They put the label on the can. If you're lactose intolerant, not for you.
Yeah, I mean, that cuts down on the bitterness for sure. Got a great flavor.
Yeah. I think going back to the can, one thing that I always find interesting with Left Hand when you have a can is I don't know if we can see it, but the actual tab has a little hand on it, which I think is, I don't know, it's just a cool mark, a little something extra. I don't know. I think it's worth maybe mentioning. Not that it adds anything to the beer itself, but just something I noticed and find interesting when I pick up a can off Left Hand.
It's fantastic marketing for sure.
Yeah.
So You know,
Well, they
you can't mistake it.
it was the brewery. Okay, so it was started. It's a common story. It's started by a guy who had a home brew kit, and then he and a college buddy hooked up a few years later to start making beer. They founded it in 1993. It was originally named, oh gosh, it's like Indian Peaks Brewing Company or something like that, for the area, but they had to change it because there was some other brewing with that name. So they changed it to Left Hand, which Left Hand was from like an Arapaho. Left Hand is from Chief Niwat, which is Arapaho for left hand. So
Could imply some
that's
other
what it
things
was.
too, you know.
I'm going to stick to my beer.
I think that's a wise choice. A wise choice.
We don't need to go down that path.
No. All right. Well, as kind of has become our custom, if we have somebody that hasn't tried the beer before, I think we're making them go first. So with that, Jay, what do you think you would rate the milk stout?
Probably give it. I'm trying to decide either between a 7 and 7.5, somewhere in there. I'll go with 7.5. I mean, it's good. It's very subtle. The milk definitely cuts down maybe the nitro as well, any of the bitterness. So it's very good. Enjoy it.
Yeah. Ben, what about you?
Yeah, I think it's a 7.5 all day. I think for a milk stout, typically I expect, it to be heavy, and this one isn't, and maybe that's the nitrogen in there. Honestly, I'm not really sure, but it's something, it's typically you pick up a milk stout, you drink one, and then it's like you just had a really big meal. I think with this one, I don't get that feeling so much, and so definitely it's something I could have a couple of and be good. And I think it's a really good milk stout. So 7.5.
Yeah, I'll give it an easy 8. Goes with a dessert. It's got that sweetness to it. Yeah, it almost. But I agree with you. It when you see milk stout and you drink it and you see the color, you're like, oh, I was expecting something a little more heavy, which isn't a bad thing, but it's a little deceptive.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's very light. I was surprised, way you guys have built up a lot of the stouts. To me, I'm used to the few that I've had. Some of the stouts and porters, they're very heavy and rich, and either malty and other things like that. But this one's smooth and very light. I was pleasantly surprised at that.
I think I like the out of the bottle better, and you shouldn't be able to tell a difference, but I just had the bottle the other night, and I like the bottle better. And actually, I got a better, when I poured it, the bottle, I got a lot fuller. I don't know what you call it when the bubbles are going up and down in the glass. There was a lot more of that, and I tried to pour this the same way, but I think the bottle tastes a little better.
There's definitely a word for that, and it escapes me at the moment. But I have not had the bottle. Maybe I think it would be really interesting if we can get our hands on both, to maybe in the future do a comparison of both of them when we have a beer like that comes in both formats, especially something like this where it does have the nitrogen in it. So maybe that's something we'll look to do on a future episode. Sure.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea, Ben, and we can do the side-by-side comparison. Call this episode just the can only.
Yeah. I mean, it's just more beer we'll have to drink, right? I mean, I don't think anybody's going to complain about that. So that gives us a 7.7 for the milk stout from Left Hand Brewing. Appreciate you guys checking out this episode. Again, I think it's a great milk stout. We definitely have enjoyed giving it a shot. And as I mentioned, look forward to potentially trying the bottle in the future. So be sure to like and subscribe. And as always, cheers that notification bell, and come back and check us out on our next episode. Thanks, guys.
Cheers, mates.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mates.